HBAR still looks as though it is brewing for a much larger move on the charts. We have been watching this closely, and even with the recent downtrend in the market, we're still watching the chart very closely. But right now, if we really look at HBAR on, like, for an example, the 7-day or even the 1-day, right now it doesn't look all that great. But if you zoom out and you look at the yearly for this thing, this is why I always say zoom out. This thing is brewing for yet another big move to the upside. Same exact pattern from the beginning of December. We're watching this because guess what? We're still very, very close to breaking that all-time high. And I do believe on this next big move in the market, it is going to lead a lot of altcoins like HBAR to breaking a new all-time high. But with that being said, we have a lot to address here. Welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you do become a subscriber. Let's dive on in and let's talk about a few things. Number one, outside of price action, Hedera continues to become a very, very big player in this space. When we look at the top 100 guys, it's sitting at number 15. In order to get to the top 10, we are about roughly $9 billion away from the top 10. It's crazy to watch as Hedera really starts to, build momentum on the charts. But this is because of the ecosystem also growing around Hedera. And it seems as though a lot more people are now taking notice of Hedera. For an example, we have over here, started sniffing around Hedera scene, and it feels like the alpha is brewing here. Fast, scalable, and packed with potential. This chain might just surprise us all. And this is from somebody who has over 150,000 followers. And, they're now starting to push Hedera greatly on X. And it's very surprising to start to see a lot more people talking about Hedera. And this is because Hedera has been moving up the list. The ecosystem has been growing. And DeFi on Hedera is becoming massive. But talking about the DeFi market, what about the DeFi market? DeFi and AI converging. Now, Hedera's not on this list. There's a few projects that are probably, not on this list that should deserve to be. But nonetheless, this is a market that's still very early, $1.5 billion market cap. And it seems as though Hedera is a major player behind this. For an example, artificial intelligence and DeFi converge on Hedera. Big shout out to Generation Infinity. Serial Finance, a project that I talked about, I want to say like maybe a month ago, 2 months ago. I've been talking about Serial for a little bit of time. They finally launched. And it's a completely, new platform, if you will, for Hedera. But they have launched its highly anticipated DeFi platform on the HBAR network, blending AI-driven risk management, decentralized data storage, and seamless interoperability. This is very exciting stuff. Now, if we go over here, we could see the full-on announcement, okay? And within just 7 hours, they hit $1 million in TVL. Guys, I still remember when SushiSwap hit $1 million. This is crazy to see. The fact that DeFi on Hedera is moving this fast just goes to show you how big the ecosystem for Hedera is becoming. I mean, I just shared the other day talking about how many followers Hedera has now. Over 400,000 plus followers. Probably about I want to say 80,000 of that is just in the last year maybe. I mean, Hedera has become a massive name in the space. They're becoming a blue chip player. But also, USDC on Hedera just doubled in the last 24 hours to $70 million. And people are wondering why. Well, it's because of the DeFi market. DeFi on Hedera is shocking a lot of people. And you know what's crazy about this, right? Is that if we actually look at, DeFi, let's first go to AI. I don't know if DeFi is on here. We have to actually go to the categories list. But if we go to the DeFi market combined with the AI market. So right now the AI market, which also does include big data, but this is mainly AI, $44.6 billion market cap. The DeFi market has $146.6 billion market cap. I wonder how big the DeFi market is going to be. I mean, this thing's at 1.5 billion. I expect this to grow significantly. But what's crazy about this is that, Hedera has quickly grown to become one of the top DeFi projects by market capitalization. They're the third one on this list. And if we also look at the AI-based, projects, Hedera's not on here, but they have so many AI projects in the ecosystem. And it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me how big Hedera has grown in terms of the actual ecosystem offering. I mean, just the other day, Kabila also launched their Hedera Developer Playground in collaboration with Hashgraph. This is to onboard a lot more developers into the ecosystem to build. It allows developers to have access to the Hedera Consensus Service, the token service, the smart service, which is the EVM, accounts in cryptocurrency, scheduled transactions, and other utilities, perform a variety of transactions and queries. Like, this is opening the door for massive amounts of developers. Kabila is a big player here. And what's crazy about Kabila is, like, along with them launching recently, because they fully launched completely, we also had Serial Finance launch, and then we also had Bonzo Finance launch. I mean, we're starting to see so many big players launching on Hedera now, and almost no one was paying attention to this up until recently. I mean, if we actually go back to Hedera, okay, and I just want to show you guys this real quick because this is crazy to me. If we go back to just the beginning of November during this time, everyone was fed up with Hedera. They didn't care about HBAR. They said, oh, it's dead. It's, blah, 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 whatever. And then when this started to happen, everyone was starting to, take Hedera seriously. Which is crazy because, like, when you think about that, price action is like the only thing that actually determines if a project is good in the space. But everyone fails to recognize the fact that, as we start to see these big moves being made, it's all pressure, which is why I said, like, even right now, like, the 1 day looks pretty good. The 7 day, it's still pretty rough on the 7 day. The 1 month, not too bad, sideways price action, but the 1 year, we're starting to see pressure building here while we're in that same exact pattern here from, like, the beginning of December, which led us to almost 40 cents on HBAR. This next move on HBAR is going to surprise a lot of people, in my opinion. But when we look at the DeFi market, okay, right now, Hedera has $350 million in TVL. The stablecoin, this is the stablecoin growth. This is USDC. It, overnight, it went from 40 million to $70 million, which is why a lot of people were like, what just happened? What just happened? And what's happening is a lot of these DeFi projects, in terms of these protocols, right, are now starting to grow significantly. I mean, Bonzo Finance went from absolutely zero back in October to $50 million in TVL. SushiSwap is now well over 131 million. If we actually look at SushiSwap in terms of the TVL, okay, this thing has been growing rapidly. And in terms of the DEX listings and so I don't know what just happened, but it looks like we just kind of broke DeFi Llama. I do apologize for that. But if we go back over to the list here for SushiSwap, I do apologize for that being broken. I don't know what happened, but if we look at this, this is following HBAR's price action perfectly, which means if this is going to have that big breakout with HBAR, then this is going to go to over $200 million in TVL. But we were just trading at all-time highs back in December for TVL on SushiSwap as well. But if we go and look at the alt chains, we know that HBAR, outside of the top 100, HBAR has also been moving up the list in terms of TVL at number 34. I do think that we're about to flip Algorand in a big way. I mean, Algorand has $367 million in TVL. It looks like HBAR wants to, flip it. After that, we really look at breaking 500 million and then breaking 1 billion, which I said will happen this cycle. $1 billion will be, it's the target for me when it comes to Hedera TVL. But on top of that, when we look at a few things around Hedera, it's not just TVL rankings. We also look at the volume. And although it's not as good as December, we're still at over $400 million in terms of DeFi volume. Then when you actually look at the HBAR volume itself, it's still sitting around like 20 billion, which we were at back in like November. December was an absolute monster month for Hedera. Over almost $60 billion in token volume for HBAR. Right now it's about 20 billion. But we haven't yet hit that mark in the space where like alt season is here, retail is fully back, hype is everywhere, euphoria is flooding the market. When that happens, I'm going to be very, very interested to see where the TVL on Hedera is and also the volume around Hedera. Because right now we're at number 15. We're at number 15 on the top 100, and we are not even trading at all-time highs yet. And a lot of these moves that are being made by Hedera, continue to pop up. And the ecosystem projects like Serial Finance, for an example, are continuing to launch. I mean, if we look at the actual DeFi protocols here on Hedera, in just the last couple months, we saw Bonzo Finance launch. We saw H Liquidity launch. Meme Job launched. And then we now have Serial Finance launching. In just the last 2-3 months. The ecosystem around Hedera is on fire right now. This is only going to continue. And I've always said, if you actually look at Hedera, okay, just go to the Hedera account on X. Just scroll through the list. I mean, guys, there's update after update after update being pushed every single day of major moves being made. There is not a more active project in the space than Hedera, in my opinion. Because every single day we see another new announcement from the Hedera team on a move that they just made, which is why I'm constantly talking about Hedera, because there's so much news around Hedera. This is signaling that, in my opinion, when we really look at what's happening here for Hedera, that top 100 list, I'm looking at the top 10, and I'm trying to gauge where Hedera will be towards the end of the cycle. I really would not be surprised if we got into the top 5. And that's well over a $100 billion market cap for HBAR. It's very hard to argue with, HBAR leading into the top 5 when we see so much happening around Hedera. We start to see a lot more eyes looking at Hedera because of the tech. And even Brady said it has one of the fastest, growing on-chain DeFi ecosystems out there. We have Bonzo, SaucerSwap, Stater, H Liquidity, Meme Job Fund. Now we also have, Kabila launching, Serial launching. It's so hard to keep up with Hedera at this point because of all of these big moves being made. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, to notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.